Truth or Consequences. That's the name of one of the episodes on a documentary that I'm watching on Netflix called What's Next? The Future with Bill Gates. I love it. So that's what I wanted to do with my Out to Lunch with Judy episode today, finishing up a Mediterranean salad. I want to talk about how wonderful this documentary is. And I mean wonderful. First of all, it's 5 episodes. Big ticket items being discussed calmly. Nobody's arguing. Nobody's getting defensive. And I'm not getting a sense that people are making stuff up. But here are the 5 episodes. What can AI do for us and to us? Excellent episode. Because they really look at the danger and the harm that AI can do, that AI is now doing. And they really look at how long ago AI started. It started quite a while ago, but we'll tackle that separately. Truth or Consequences. That was a great episode. It's all about lying. And does lying have consequences? I think that's an easy yes. Number 3, can we stop global warming? Okay, global warming is not a political issue other than in this country. How did that happen? How did global warming become a political issue? Money, right? Regulating corporations that would have to spend more money as a result of the regulation, right? Nutella coffee cake. Just want to let you know what I'm eating, because it is Out to Lunch with Judy. Even though we're in eating lunch, believe me, I picked some places I'm going to record at next week. It just takes a while to get organized. Number 4, can you be too rich? My God. Well, there's Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world, who was the richest person in the world at one time. That number 1 ranking changes every now and then. And guess who the politician was who was on that episode? Bernie Sanders, the man who hates billionaires, the man who thinks income should be limited. Really? Bernie, I don't think anybody wants their income limited. Nobody. Not everybody has the goal to be a billionaire. I don't know if Bill Gates had the goal to be a billionaire. I think he had the goal to explore technology and make the best stuff he could. And I remember, of course, when he was called into Congress and had to talk about the monopoly. Okay, you can't prevent other people from also doing well, but I don't think you can limit an income from people. I mean, Mark Cuban would have a lot to say about this, wouldn't he? And then lastly, can we outsmart disease? See, this is really fascinating, because if AI is going to do anything, if technology and the advance in medicine is going to do anything, let's get rid of disease and fatal issues like cancer. Where do they come from? How do they start? How can they be prevented? But the reason why I think this is such an excellent documentary to watch is, first of all, it tackles big ticket issues. Second of all, it's done in a calm manner. I'm so exhausted by listening to people yell, listening to people argue on TV. And of course, by people, I mean politicians. I try and be super informed. I read constantly. But, I choose where I get my information. There are some people I don't listen to at all because I feel they're not truthful. I've given them the opportunity. And then, because I'm a student of history and I read constantly, I know when people aren't telling the truth. And if I misunderstand something, somebody corrects me, and I fact check and I'm wrong, I'll change my mind. Don't care. I will change my mind. I want to be on the right side of understanding. No, you can be on the right side of understanding. You can still have different opinions about how to resolve, how to execute, how to engage with. But then that's when communication kicks in. Respectful communication. Communication that doesn't denigrate us and make us feel like, oh my God, I'm never talking to that person again. I am sure there have been people who have said about me, I never want to talk to that person again, because I've lost my cool. It's just that being a divorce mediator for the past 12 and a half years, it's really taught me a lot. It's taught me that if I have the presence of mind to get a hold of myself when I'm triggered and just ask the person I'm talking to the why questions, I'm doing okay. But back to Bill Gates and what's next. I just love highly intelligent people who do not have political leanings on anything. Scientists, I just love listening to smart people talk. I love listening to scientists talk. I love listening to people who don't raise my emotional level. I love listening to them talk because I want to keep learning. I want to keep being a better person. I want to keep contributing to society more and more in a way that's beneficial, whether it's doing these videos, whether it's writing and putting stuff on LinkedIn and any other social media, doing a TEDx talk. I did a TEDx talk, by the way. My TEDx talk was October 13th of last year, and it was how to have an amicable divorce. You go through the emotional divorce before you file for the legal divorce. There is an emotional divorce. There are two divorces. I won't go into it heavily. We'll do this in another video. But that emotional divorce is about processing and grieving and not blaming and forgiving. So when we're dealing with really heavy issues in life, I know we're passionate about them. I know we're triggered. God knows I am. But we have to get it together. I mean, you can't let things slide that may be adverse to humans, to human life. But you do have to listen to people, because if we don't argue with people, if we ask questions that allow people in a calm space to really explain how they feel and why they feel it, we will learn so much about people. And we will be so happy with ourselves that we were able to engage in a conversation where we may have uncovered some other truth, some other information that's really valuable and that allows us to be connected to people in a positive way. Because we are, whether we like it or not, we're connected with people. Now, as I say this, let me just tell you, in my quiet moments, I make myself sick, worrying, fearful. You know, how are things going to work out, whether it's with AI, which I've always been worried about. I do understand that in medicine and science, it can be great. I don't want it to write my papers. I don't want ChatGPT to think for me. I don't want, you've got to watch What Can AI Do for Us or To Us? You've got to watch that episode. Because Bill goes to a place called OpenAI, and they've known the owners of OpenAI and Bill Gates have known each other for years. It's so cool watching Bill Gates walk into different places. He's very low-key. He's very inquisitive. He's there to learn. He's not amongst the wealthiest people in the world. He walks among us, which I love. And he's given, what, close to half of his fortune away, and started the pledge with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where he wants other wealthy people to give their fortune away and let it be spent to better human beings. I just walk away from that feeling so much better about myself after I watched every one of these, and now I'm going back and watching some of them 2 and 3 times, because you miss a lot. You know, the first time around you get the essence of something, but when you watch it a second and third time, then you're really picking up other things that flesh out the concept. And I think at this point in time, since everybody's so highly emotionally charged, and if you're not voting for Trump, you're living in abject fear that if he gets in, you know, life will change measurably for everybody, and not in a good way, and not what we're thinking about. Maybe the wealthiest, when his tax changes come up for review, and is it 2025? You know, maybe for the wealthiest people who don't want to give money to charity, that's a big incentive. But that's so few people. So there's a lot of us living in fear, and I find something like this is very calming, because you get to think globally, you get to think bigger, and you get to process in a calm way. So I'm all for calm, because yesterday, just going to reveal something, after I did that great video on We Are a Community, the day after the election, we're still a community of people, and we have to get along. You know, sports, food, and what's that third thing that connects us? I don't know. It'll come back to me. But the music, sports, food, and music connects us. And we can come from different political persuasions, but it still connects us. You know, you go to a concert. So, and you're going to be surrounded by people who think like you and don't think like you. But after I recorded that great video, then fear started creeping in again. And I went homesick to my stomach. I really did. And then I put this documentary on again. Calmed right down. So I decided that not only do I really want to give people the opportunity to express themselves, certainly if we come from different points of view, I want to share this documentary with everybody, because I'd like people to start getting used to speaking about things in a very calm way, and giving people the opportunity to talk without interrupting them, and listen and appreciate, because we just have to. We have to, as a community of people, move past the shit we have to deal with now. And we have to get to a place where differences of opinion can be discussed without ripping each other apart, so that we can come to compromise. That's the whole issue. So that we can band together and come to compromise. And we can only do that if we respect each other, even if we disagree heartily, and we listen to each other without interrupting, and ask the why questions. So please watch this documentary. And I'll leave you with the motto of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that they talked about on the documentary, and that is, all lives have equal value. Chew on that while you're out to lunch with Judy.